Nigeria's airspace is a critical component of the country's transportation infrastructure, facilitating the movement of people, goods, and services by air. Therefore, in a bid to keep it safe, authorities have been meeting with relevant stakeholders to boost the security framework within the country's airspace. Meanwhile, according to reports, plans are in top gear to develop a centralized air traffic management system at the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency corporate headquarters. The system is expected to streamline and enhance civil aviation operations across the country, reinforcing Nigeria's commitment to adopting advanced technological solutions for airspace management. For this conversation, Director General of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, Alex Badeh, joins us now from our Abuja studios, where he'll be discussing the need to prioritize safety in Nigeria's airspace and what measures are being put in place to ensure that. Welcome to Arise News, and thank you for joining us here on Newsday.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Speaking of the safety in the air, what plans or measures are put in place to make sure that this is all around a top priority?
I heard you talk about NAMA. That's not really my purview. We're here to investigate accidents. So I won't talk on NAMA. I'll talk on what concerns us at the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, which is to investigate accidents and incidents, make safety recommendations, and hopefully make travel in Nigeria safer for all passengers. And to that end, we've spent a lot of money now on training. I mean, the most important part of this is the people, the human capacity of our investigators. And we've done that for the human factor. We have a lot of training going on this year. We have about 300 employees at the Bureau, and all 300 of them are getting multiple training programs this year. And that's just to springboard us onto next year, where we grow. And as we grow, we get on more people and get our expertise up to where it needs to be.
Well, but we've witnessed, some concerning incidences recently, like planes overshooting the runway. We've heard of doors falling off, fuel contamination. I'm just wondering, what has been done to curb all this and ensure the safety and protection of passengers?
Oh yeah, the runway overruns, the fuel, definitely issues have happened here. We've not had any doors fall off in Nigeria, fortunately. But yes, we are investigating all those incidents. We've put up our preliminary reports. We had the most recent ones, which was the Max Air incident in Yola on Sunday, which was a rejected takeoff by the crew. They lost one tire initially, and the reject, unfortunately, the fuse plugs deflated all the other 4 tires. We're investigating that actively. We've downloaded the data from the airplane, and we're interviewing the crew as we speak with a view to putting out our safety recommendations within 30 days as stipulated by ICAO. Also, there was a Green Africa incident as well where they lost the wheel. Fortunately, again, no one was harmed, and we're investigating that, and we will be making our safety recommendations known. But I must say, it is a little alarming, the amount of incidents we've had so far this year. I mean, right now we're tracking 6 to 7 in the first 7 months of the year, and it's a startling statistic. But nonetheless, we're looking into what's really happening now. We'll make our recommendations to the government as well on how to make the Nigerian airspace safer for flyers.
And would you say of the cases that your bureau have investigated that technology plays a large part in some of the failures, or would it be more human error?
As I've always said, with any accident or incident, it starts with a human being as opposed to the machine. These machines are built to be very reliable. And with every incident or accident, it's like a Swiss cheese. There's a chain of reactions or chain of events that lead to that. So I'll start with the human being behind the machine. So I always focus on the human and then the machine. And unfortunately, in the recent ones, from what I've seen, it's mostly the human being. So it might be, just people not going back to their training or just poor training or just the fact that, everyone is stretched thin out here in Nigeria.
Now, you talked about, not experiencing doors falling off here in Nigeria, thankfully, but some analysts are calling for enhanced inspection and maintenance protocols, in our aviation industry, especially as we are having reports of several disturbing incidences occurring around the world with the Boeing aircraft. Is this a concern of yours as well? Is this something that you're looking into?
With every incident that happens around the world, it's a concern for us, especially when or if we operate that kind of airplane. But with these doors that you're talking about, they happened, I think, with the MAX 9 airplanes in the US. And as far as I know, no one in Nigeria flies the MAX 9 right now. But there was an airworthiness directive put out by the FAA and Boeing. And I know those that fly them should have complied with them, at least outside Nigeria. Should anyone have that type of airplane here, of course, we'll be looking into that to make sure they've complying with the airworthiness directive there.
And working with the technological and airspace matters, it seems like quite a scary venture. What gives you cause for concern or keeps you up at night concerning the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau?
Of course, nobody wants an accident. And what really gives me cause for concern with Nigeria is just the operating environment we have here right now. I know, with the exchange rate, the economy, and the land, I know it's been tough for a lot of operators to keep afloat right now. So it worries me because, when that financial pressure is put on these operators, there might be temptation to cut corners wherever they feel they can get away with. And it's our job at the NSIB and the job of the regulators at the Civil Aviation Authority to make sure that we keep these operators honest to safeguard the safety of Nigerian travelers.
Now, you talked about tracking about 6 to 7 incidences that have occurred this year. So can you just give us a bit more details about the processes and the timeline involved in these investigations?
Typically, within 30 days, we put out a preliminary report, and we aim to have an interim report here within 6 months after the incidents. There's no stipulated time for a full investigation, but we are trying to have those done hopefully in 24 months. As we speak, we have 19 investigations from the past few years that still haven't been published. As you might or might not know, we did publish about 3 reports, some from 3 years ago in May. We aim to have another 5 done by the end of this year. And hopefully by next year, we'll chip at the rest of these 19. Bearing in mind that some of these investigations are from 10 years old, so sometimes the data might be corrupt or we just might not have everything. But we do aim to, or my personal target is to aim to have every accident report totally done within 24 months.
And we've discussed, I guess, quite a bit of the disadvantages or these slip-ups within this industry. Let's talk more about the opportunities for growth and improvement.
I don't like to delve into development of these airlines, but yes, there are opportunities in Nigeria. I think the Honorable Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, SAN, has been at the forefront of that. I know he is going off to the US to meet with Boeing to sign an MOU with them. I know he's spoken with a lot of insurance companies as well, domestically and internationally, just to open up our access for our Nigerian operators to be able to get modern airplanes. Because as it stands now, we do operate some pretty old airplanes out here. Granted, they're maintained properly, but it's about time for a lot of operators to be able to replace those. And part of that is, making an enabling environment for the aircraft lessors to come here and trust our processes in Nigeria. So I know there's a lot of room for development, and I would just say let's look and give the government time, and hopefully, again, I'm hopeful that at least by the end of the first tenure of this administration, we would have more brand new airplanes flying out here and even stricter safety regulations for the aviation industry.
Well, just before we let you go, the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, has expressed concern over the rate at which airlines are going under in Nigeria. I'm wondering what you think is responsible for this and what can be done to strengthen our domestic airlines.
Well, but that, from where I see it, I think it's the financial aspect of it comes first. Airlines are not cheap ventures to go into, and you don't make profit within the first 2-3 years. You have to persevere. I've spoken to him severally, and I've said, maybe some of our operators too don't understand the enormity of, what they're getting into when they get in there and they get discouraged after a few years. But I think the government by and large is looking deeper into that. And you must bear in mind that the airline business too is very Forex dependent. So we don't manufacture anything here. Fortunately, we don't do our maintenance here as well. So a lot of those things, they need Forex. And there's been, as you know, at least the past couple of years, a lot of airlines had their money trapped here. So did Nigerian carriers. But I know the federal government is making strides in that regard. And I know there's talks to have maintenance organizations here as well, especially in Akwa Ibom. There's a big hangar there. I know there's talks towards moving that. And even Ibom Air, the airline, has made great strides in aviation in Nigeria. So I know the future is bright, and I would just say watch the space and give just time and patience, and we should see a marked improvement here over the next coming years.
Well, we hope so. The Director General of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, Alex Badeh, thank you so much for joining us and for this discussion on Newsday today.